Hi, everybody. Oh, you guys are getting like a full on lovely view right now of my backyard. Um, under having work done in the backyard. So right now the pool, what used to be the pool, is currently a sand pit. So how lucky are you? You guys get to see it. Oh my gosh. Hi. Welcome to Nikki Nights. It's me, Nikki. So today, really, the can just flew over. I was also at the beginning of the episode, I was like, do I wear a hat? You know, it's fall now here in New York. So I'm like, do I do my favorite hat? Do I not? I think I'm going to keep it on. Why not? It's hot. Okay. It's just hat time. I've decided. um, so my guest today, I'm super excited to chat with him because he's a friend of mine since the beginning, since the Hairspray days. We have known each other for 1,000,001 years, but he's so incredibly talented. When I saw him dance for the first time on the set of Hairspray, I was like, whoa. I mean, you guys have to remember, right? I tell everybody all the time, I never danced before Hairspray. So for me, seeing all the dancers and getting to work with them, that's really who I learned the most from. And I would zone in on them and I would watch them just so intently. And I found what they did most fascinating because I cannot move my body like that, right? No. Um, like I talk about Anthony all the time. Anthony Carr is so talented. And today we're going to talk to Hollywood Jade, who is now choreographing for RuPaul's Drag Race Canada. Can we just talk about Canada for a second? Anybody who knows me knows that I have a huge love affair with Canada. I secretly think I'm Canadian at heart. I love Canada so much. We filmed Hairspray in Canada, and it was so fun, you guys. Oh, the stories. I mean, sometimes it seems like a lifetime ago. It does, but then other times I'm like, nope. It was just, 13 years ago now? 14 since we started making it. And guess what? In a month, I'm going to be 32. So it was 947 years ago. And we just had the time of our lives. I know we talk about it all the time on the show, but like, I think it's important, it's important to pay homage to like where you came from and your past. And it's important to really like grow and move on, in which I do in other roles. But I think for me, Hairspray will always just hold such like a dear piece of my heart forever and ever and always. So I didn't bring my phone with me to check on my guest. I should probably go get it. Hang tight. BRB. It's always fun seeing like, is the connection gonna work? Luckily the Wi-Fi has been decent lately. I don't want to say that too loudly. Now I feel like I jinxed myself. Why do you say these things, Nikki? Why? Oh my gosh. Now watch. You know, lightning will strike or gosh knows what. It's, but it is spooky season, you guys. It is Halloween time. Is everybody so excited and so ready? I'm kind of really ready. I love Halloween time because that means Halloween Town and Hocus Pocus and all of the amazing movies are coming out. I know those are the two that I watch religiously every Halloween. It's Hocus Pocus at least 6 times, at least. And then it's Halloween Town. I will flip through cable to catch the Disney Channel just so I can watch Halloween Town. I love it. I mean, Debbie Reynolds, though. Can we just talk about Debbie Reynolds for a second? Legendary actress, played the grandma in Halloween Town. God, I love that movie. If I could be in a Disney movie, okay, back in the day, like when Nikki was in high school, it would have been Halloween Town for sure. We're just trying to make sure the connection works because the phone connection's working. But now it's like, let's see. I'm so excited to talk to him. Oh my gosh, you guys, whenever I get to talk to any of my Hairspray family, it's like instant happiness. If there's one thing in life that brings me sheer joy all the time, it's Hairspray. Any talk of it So honestly, I'm not even kidding you guys. When I go into CVS and I see the word hairspray over like the aisle, where it's like deodorant, hairspray, I'm like, oh, I'm home. That's my aisle. Not really. It's not made for me, but my heart kind of feels like it is. So anytime I get to talk about hairspray or share, it's really just sharing the experience that I had. Tracy Turnblad was such, oh my gosh, she really was my dream. And dreams really do come true. And they do in friends like Hollywood Jade. He's here. He made it. We're bringing him in right now. Oh my gosh, can't wait to talk to him. Oh my God, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Amazing.
I love the sunset. That's welcome
My
to
little
my
background.
crappy backyard. Do you see this? What is even happening?
I love it all. How are you, doll?
Good. This is what happens when Joey Blonsky gets an idea to rip out the pool. We end up with the sand pit.
How is he?
He's good. He just got engaged. My
Oh,
little
wow.
brother. Yeah.
I know, we're all getting older.
I know. For real, though. Because I was just introing the show and I was like, I met Hollywood, what is it, like 14 years ago now?
Isn't that crazy?
Oh my gosh. So we met in your home, Canada, Toronto, right?
We did. Doing a very amazing project.
How did you get involved with Hairspray? I want to hear your story.
How I got involved with Hairspray is it's actually kind of a lengthy story, but I'll tell the Cold Notes version. I loved the original. Like I loved. Like I was obsessed. And because I'm a man of a certain age, I used to have Blockbuster videos,
Oh.
and every weekend I would go to Blockbuster and I'd get other stuff, but I'd always rent Hairspray. And one day I went to go pick it up, and the girl's like, literally in the last 2 years, you're the only person who's rented this movie. And they were getting ready to close the one by my house down. And she's like, just take it. Just take it.
Just take it.
Just take. She's like, this belongs to you. This is yours. And yeah, so I love the original. And then when I never got to see the musical, which is so random, which makes no sense on Broadway. But when I heard that they were turning the musical version into a movie, I was like, I absolutely have to be in this. And I called my agent at the time and I was like, hey, they're doing Hairspray here. She's like, okay, I'll keep my eyes and ears open. And then I found out that they were having a closed audition. And I was like, well, I'm showing up. And I just showed up. And the casting director was just like, what's your name? And I'm talking to her with all confidence. I'm like, my name is Hollywood Jade and blah, 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 blah. She's just like, yeah, you're not on the list. I was like, that can't be. I take out my phone, talking to nobody. I'm like, hey, I'm standing in the line and they're saying I'm not on the list. Yeah, I don't know what this means. And Stephanie Gorin, who was the casting director, she's like, don't worry, we will be having a open call. And I'm like, okay. So then I got my chance. I went to the open call, and have I never told you this story?
No, because Beep Beep was open call too. I found out. This is all news to me. This is so exciting.
Oh, wait till you hear this next part. The next part is the best part. So I go to the audition, and we're in there, and I'm young. Like I'm not a trained dancer like most of the people in the movie. Yeah, like I'm self-taught and right.
I had
And
no idea. You fooled me. Oh.
I'm so happy to see your face right now. I'm so sorry.
I'm so happy to see you. And honestly, who's calling but my mother? Hi, Mom. I can't talk right now. I'm doing my show. I'm talking to Hollywood.
Hi, Mom.
I'll call you back. What?
No, she's like, what? whatever I have to say, you go listen to.
Oh, she's asking about my podcast. I'm filming my podcast right now. You can see it on Spotify anytime. This is ridiculous. She's literally asking me where the nurses in the doctor's office can view it. You can also see it on YouTube. This is ridiculous.
This is the best thing ever.
But see, if anybody who knows us, because Hollywood knows my mother and I, he knows that this is absolute typical behavior.
This is real life.
Oh my God, I can't, anybody else, I would have declined the call, but I was like, he knows my mother so much. They'd be like, oh my God, you have to pick it up for her, or else she won't stop calling.
And if you didn't answer, I would have been upset.
Oh my gosh.
The only person I love more than you is your mother.
Oh my gosh. Well,
okay.
She will be so happy to hear that she finally won something. She'll be like, yes, I won Hollywood's all of his love. Thank God.
She's had my heart from the jump, like from the very beginning. Where was I? I was telling the story.
Yes, mid-story.
So, and this is good because you know these people personally, so you'll understand. So I go into the audition room, and I'm in the room with all the black male dancers that I've never even seen some of these people. And everyone's legs are on the wall, and they're thrusting into their dip. And I'm out here doing my track and field stretches, like, okay. Right, warming up the wrists. And we start, Zach Woodley's running my audition. So they start teaching the choreo, and he stops us. He's like, okay, who knows the story of Hairspray? What's your name? I'm like, Hollywood. Okay, Hollywood. What's the story of Hairspray? So I start talking, and I'm like, it's about this girl, Tracy, and Tracy does this, and she goes to detention, and then she meets the black kids, and she's living for the black kids, like, just young and gay, living his best life, doing the most. So Zach comes and leans on my shoulder. He's like, so Hollywood, do you think the detention kids would be like kicking their faces? I was like, no, they dance because the music moved them. He's like, exactly, 5, 6, like literally in the middle of the audition, me and Zach Woodley had like this whole 5-minute conversation. So I do it. I get my call back. I'm like, yes, I'm one step closer. This is amazing. And on my way to the call back, I'm seeing all of these black guys leaving. I'm like, bye. They're like, you're just getting here? I'm like, yeah, my call time was 11. They're like, oh, weird. All of our call time was 10. I'm on cloud 9 that I'm even here. So I'm just like, whatever. I walk in, I see all my girlfriends. I'm like, hey, girl. Still completely oblivious to the fact that I'm at the girls' callback. All the boys were at 10, the girls were at 11.
Oh my God.
So I sign in, everything's fine. Stephanie comes in, she's like, oh, you missed your time. I was like, no, I didn't. I called my voicemail. I said, look, girl, here. She's like, okay, let me see what they want to do because they already saw all the boys at 10. So I start getting my homegirls to teach me the girls' version of the routine, right? Yeah. I'm like, I'm dancing today.
Yes.
Even if I got to go find a wig or a hairpiece or something, I am dancing today. So Zach comes in and he's like, who missed their audition time? I said, actually. He's like, oh, it's Hollywood. He's fine. And turned around and walked out the door. Like me and him have been friends for years.
Yeah.
So I go into the room now, and Anne's there, Adam's there, everybody's there, and it's me and a room full of black girls. Like, what? Come on. So they start going through the combo. I'm like, do you want me to do the boys' version or the girls' version? Zach is like, you know both versions. I said, yeah, I learned the girls' version. I didn't want to be the sore thumb standing out.
Oh my gosh.
But
that's a pro move. That is a pro move, my friend.
Yeah, I was not missing this opportunity for nothing. And they saw fit that even despite that I was at the wrong call time, to not only put me in the movie, but handpick me to be the character that I played so that I had direct interaction with you and Elijah, and it's a great story, and I can't wait to make the movie of my life to reenact this whole thing.
You and me both.
Can you imagine getting to recreate Hairspray for even just us, like even just one segment, like one segment?
You know what? I would just, the amount of work and just who would play these characters, you know, like, oh
Oh
my
my
gosh,
god.
who would play Anthony, you know, oh
Oh
my
my
god,
god.
oh
You
my
know
god.
what? He would probably play himself. He'd be
Yes,
the only one who could. Him and Whitney would be the only two who could play themselves.
correct, correct. We would, you know,
Because
we
they
would have several people playing us throughout the years, aging. They would just, every scene, them just
just
still
them.
themselves. And it was so funny. That's how close we were. I remember we all had numbers on the call sheet. I
Hmm.
remember Anthony's number. He was number 162.
Let's
Okay.
go.
I mean, so that's how close we all were on that set. And we talk about the choreographers. We worked with some insanely talented choreographers on that movie.
And directors and like.
I was just, my friend sent me a song today. She threw me off guard. She sent me a song from the Walk to Remember soundtrack. And
Oh wow.
I was like, it is 9 a.m. It is too early for this sappiness. I was like, I can't. But I said, ironically, though, it's interesting. Once you're in this business, it's like you find that there are like little ties to different projects and different people. Like there's like truly 6 degrees of separation with everything. And I was sitting here and I was like, that song, not the wisest choice at 9 a.m. However, Adam Shankman did direct it. It's a great movie. I know Adam Shankman. Like everything correlates in my brain, you know, to.
That's.
Do you find that making connections as you go from job to job and interwebbing people?
It's what's even crazier for me is being Canadian and still living in Toronto and choosing to stay and work here, because I did move to LA and I was in the thick of it. Like the Doll's career was about to like take off, because again we had just worked with Anne, Jamal, Adam, Zach. Zach went on to do Glee. Jamal has gone on to do basically everything under the
Aladdin,
sun. He's
I
still
know.
my favorite friggin' person on the planet Earth. And directing movies and like so. Literally, we had the inside track to everything, and it's so interesting thinking about even being Canadian and being in Toronto, how those degrees of separation, still even working here, are all still there. And finding the ties and people being like, oh yeah, I know you because so and so talked about you or so and so talked about you. And it's crazy. Like anytime Jamal or any of them had a friend who was coming in town to do something, you need to connect to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Even if you can't put him in it, Hollywood is just a good connect to have in Toronto and in Canada. He's got his finger on it was crazy hearing how people spoke about me. And I was just like, wow, I didn't consider myself to be that person, but I'll take it.
Well, I mean, look, a good human being and a good soul is hard to come across these days. And I knew it when I saw you those 940 million years ago. And that's sometimes what it feels like. But I felt like Canada, somebody was asking me this morning, I was doing a cameo live where I do, like, I meet with fans for 10 minutes and they get to ask me
Oh,
questions. And they were asking, what was it like to film in Canada, being that it's set in Baltimore? And I said, Toronto was the perfect home for us. It was perfect. I mean, it was the only other place I had ever lived other than Long Island. And then I just moved up. And I remember as we were going up in the elevator in my old apartment, my mom was singing the Jeffersons theme song because, like, oh yeah,
grown up.
yes, because we were like, all of a sudden, like, I had my own apartment and like it was like I was like, what's going on? Like I never, I just worked a part-time
And
job.
not to cut you, but like think about it. Like even for you and I was always so impressed with how well you handled all of it. Like when I say all of it, I mean you were a baby. Like we were children, but you were a literal baby. Like you celebrated, was it your 19th or 18th birthday?
18.
Your 18th birthday in Toronto and at a club, and we all got dressed up and we all came.
I was telling my friend, my best friend Amy, before I got on this podcast with you, I said to her, I remember what he was wearing at my birthday party. He was wearing a gray and purple striped sweater. I have pictures. I have
Oh my
pictures
God.
of you doing a full pose, like you are serving it to the gods, and it is amazing. I mean, the pictures from that party, that was truly, I think, one of the most magical nights of my life. Like, put aside, like, yeah, I've been to some incredible events, but I think turning 18 with you guys on that set, just
Yeah.
like an instant family. That's what it was, a family. It was like, sure, we were all friends, but we were family. And after that movie, bonded for life.
That's literally what it felt like. It literally felt like, and for most of us, that was a lot of our first experience. I tell people all the time, I said, guys, we were spoiled. Like when I say spoiled, I mean, I had done a couple things prior to Hairspray, but Hairspray literally felt like what the industry, in my mind, when I imagined being in the industry, what the industry was going to feel like.
Yeah.
There were different generations of dancers on this job. Excuse me. There was a wide, diverse cast, obviously because of the story. You know what I mean? It was my first time working with Americans on anything. Everything I had done up until this point was all the dancers on all the jobs were Canadian. So this was the first time working with Americans on a project. And it was crazy because like the Ebonies and the Hollies and the Enriques and the Nadine Ellises, I'm like, these are all people that I grew up watching on my TV. Like,
No.
do you know that there's an ad campaign of you in Eaton Center right now? Like you are hanging. There's like this is like I have to show Ebony one day. I'm like, girl, that's your face. Like that's you.
I know. It's weird sometimes. I remember and it was just so cool to watch the city of Toronto. Remember when they painted the dynamites on the side of that
On the
building?
side of the building.
It was there forever. You know, it was so incredible to see how they took the city and then transformed it and put it in the 60s, rerouted the train cars. I mean, it
Yeah.
was a massive production, but you're right, we were incredibly spoiled. And that leads me to my next question. I mean, it's a question that I get a lot of times, and I never know how to quite answer it because I don't want to
Oh Lord.
offend any other cast that I've been in or anything in the future. But do you ever feel like Hairspray spoiled us to the point where, like, you know, we're like, everything else is great, but that just project, that was just so primo.
Without a doubt. Everyone's always like,
I just want to make sure I wasn't the only one.
No, everybody's always like, what's your favorite job? I'm like, my favorite job to date was Hairspray. A, we made a shit ton load of money. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. But we made a lot of money, okay? As a 22-year-old, I had never seen that much money in my life.
I had never seen per diem in my life. I thought per diem was the greatest thing.
Oh my God. We hated y'all with your damn per diems, and y'all had your per diem dance. Oh, it was so irritating.
Oh my God.
It was so irritating.
Everybody had a dance for everything on that movie. I remember, I'm not kidding. Like, there were just, I think back to our friend Nick Baga and his tilt Fridays when he would, you know, rock his pants, you know, slouching, and we would call it the tilt. I mean, these are the ridiculous things and antics that went on.
Like what? And when we say spoiled people, I need you to understand. Like the director would have us over to his house every week for So You Think You Can Dance, and it would be catered. And Nikki had her birthday party. We went to Wonderland together. Like.
Do you know what they said to me for my birthday? They said, what do you want for your birthday? And I remember they had just sent everybody home, like all the American dancers. They sent like Anthony and Whitney and Mark. They sent everybody back to New York. And I was like, well, it's my birthday. I said, I want all my friends back. So they flew everybody back for my birthday. I mean, we're not trying to brag, but we're just saying they took such good care of us.
Such good, down to food.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
when John Travolta realized that our food wasn't what he was eating, he was just like, no, 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 everyone's gonna eat the same thing. Excuse me.
I know. I remember the last day, one of the extras was just so taken back because John made sure everybody had like a filet mignon and lobster tail wrap day, and like everybody, not just our cast. We're talking about crew and extra and holding. I mean, so, but these are the quality human beings that we were working with, you know?
They did such a good job casting. Like I even remember when we did our that one scene with when it was Negro Day with Michelle Pfeiffer, and she came on and she was just like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. She just kept apologizing. And we're like, girl, we know you're acting. It's okay. She's like, I just want to make sure you guys know that these are not my thoughts. And I'm like, no, we've seen the movie. We're good.
I
But
can't tell you how many times, every time she would, you know, bitch out Tracy in that scene during Miss Baltimore Crabs, she would stop when they yell cut and she would grab my face. She'd go, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm
yeah.
like, no, don't be sorry. It's one of the greatest achievements of my life is being bitched out by Michelle Pfeiffer.
Like on camera, forever in existence.
Mhm. I
That's
can
epic.
die happy.
It's epic. I hope you don't die. You look beautiful, by the way.
Oh, thanks. I hope I don't die either. You know, it's been a little rocky lately, but it's all good. No, I'm kidding.
AB, who you telling? For everybody. Like it, it's been a minute. Like it's been crazy. But thank God for health and or the universe, whatever you believe, for health and guidance and protection and keeping me safe. I am COVID free, honey, and happy.
Yes. And speaking of happy, you are on, well, you're a part of one of the most, I mean, well known, loved shows here in the States. And now there's an amazing Canadian version. You're on RuPaul's Drag Race Canada. How did
Yes.
that happen?
Well, let's clear some things up really quickly. It's Canada's Drag Race. It's not RuPaul's
I'm so
Drag
sorry.
Race
Yes.
Canada. No, no, no. It's not. It's not your fault. It's. I only recently found out why the name had to get changed, and I was like, oh, that's awful, because there's already, well, there's already like a NASCAR Drag Race Canada, so they had to change the name, which is why it doesn't have all the da 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 da. But yes, I am the resident choreographer for Canada's Drag Race. It's so crazy to say that out loud.
That is massive. How fun is that?
Honestly, Nikki, it literally feels like the job that I had been preparing for all my career.
Yeah.
Um, and I say this because every challenge that they presented me on the show, I had already experienced in one way or another, or I was prepared to deal with because of my experience and my know-how in the industry. It's so great. The show is the show has done such a great job of creating a narrative in Canada and the world about drag queens as holistic people.
Yeah.
Our show did a very good job of humanizing these these artists who sometimes are equated to like a party clown. You know what I mean? And it showed the duality of them, and it showed the human side of them. And they spent not just as much time, but they spent a lot of time on focusing on their stories and making sure that the narratives that were being told were authentic and real. And being that Canada is this open and welcoming place, there was a lot of immigrants on the show.
Right.
So they got to tell their story and their perspective of being queer and from a smaller island or another place, and having to come to Canada to find freedom and be accepted. And now they're on TV
Yeah.
being accepted, and it's crazy. And I don't take for granted a second that we are literally out here creating history and changing people's lives.
Yeah.
Like it's
Absolutely.
huge.
Absolutely. I mean, you look, even I look at, you know, the people that you work with on that show, and I can't help but talk about one of my favorite queens, I mean, but also you talk about somebody who's so talented, Brooklyn Heights. I mean,
Listen.
holy moly.
Okay.
I mean,
I tell Brooklyn all the time that I'm obsessed with her. And like when I say obsessed, I mean I am obsessed.
me
Like
too. I'm obsessed with Brock because he is just so fierce and like incredible. But as Brooklyn, I'm like, oh my God, you're so beautiful that you awaken the inner lesbian, like the lesbian in me. And I'm like, oh my God, like you're so aesthetically gorgeous. But the talent is just like, holy moly. What is it like to work with Brooklyn?
like I don't know if you can see this. Oh God, hold on.
Oh my
Look,
gosh.
look. Let me fix this so you can see it. Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Like, oh God, it's blurry. But uh, what is it like to work with Brooklyn?
because I've had Brooklyn on my podcast. I've had Brooklyn on my Instagram live show, and all we did for I think an hour straight was just laugh. Like just we could not stop.
Brooklyn is amazing, and I think where I'm really drawn to Brooklyn most is she's taken her dance background and has managed to morph it into this elegant, regal, womanly being that just oozes charisma and finesse, and I'm obsessed.
And just floats across the stage though. Just float.
Like
Like it's effortless.
Brooklyn has one of the greatest reveals on Drag Race history ever. Like
Yes.
that afro into that pink. That listen, I almost threw my phone at the TV when I saw it the first time. I was like, "What did I rewind that? Rewind it right now. I need to see that again because I didn't just see what I think I saw." Like
Do you watch every single episode? Like, and how does it
I,
feel to sit back and watch like a show? You know what I mean?
that
And
you're
see your
on.
yes. That
Yeah,
everybody tunes in every week to see.
it's so weird. Like it's so and I know because people see like we did Hairspray like you said donkey years ago and we both got on to do other things and so on and so on, but like this just felt so different. Like it just felt so vindicating and felt so right. Like the producers were amazing to work with. Like when I say amazing, I mean amazing. I had to message one of them the other day and be like, I tried to put this into an email and sound all professional, but bump that. I just sent him a message on WhatsApp. I was like, I just want to work for you, like in any capacity, because such a good job, like of storytelling and painting these very vivid narratives of the realities of these queens,
Yeah.
and knowing that I get to be a part of that. Nikki, the craziest thing is thinking that some boy who loves dance and has a passion for music is going to see me on that TV screen and be like, I want to be him.
Yes.
I want to do that. Someone's goal is to be the choreographer for Canada's Drag Race because they saw themselves in me.
Yes.
Black, white, man, woman, other, they, them, doesn't matter. Somebody's going to look at this show and be like, I want to do that
Yeah.
because of him.
Yeah. We all, we don't realize, I think, especially in the entertainment business, because it's what we do. Like we go through our jobs and we're like, okay, it's our job and we play our part and we do our dance or we sing our song, whatever, and we carry on. But I forget a lot of times that I have played roles, and I feel it's been interesting. I sometimes don't know how to take it when people tell me like they've been truly moved by like Tracy or a role that I played, because I'm like, it makes me feel so good, but at the same time I'm like, I feel a little guilty for like being so prideful, but at the same time I just can't help but just know that, for me growing up, seeing people like Ricky Lake and Carney Wilson and Delta Burke and, on TV, those were the women that I looked up to that made me go, oh, okay, if they're out there, I can be out there. So the fact that you and I are out there representing what we represent and just being true to ourselves, I think that's what this past year has done for me personally since I've come out. And I'm just like, I'm authentically living my life. Like, everybody can say whatever they want. You can call me whatever you want. You can say whatever you want. But guess what? When I go to bed at night, it's with a smile on my face. So, like, it doesn't really matter. And just the fact that we have played these parts and been a part of entertainment history, it's an honor for me because I respect this business so much. As crazy as people say it is, and it is, it's absolutely batshit up the wall. But
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine doing anything else. Do you feel the same way?
Nikki, you said so much right now. The first thing that I want to touch on is talking about inspiring people. I remember watching, I'm crying, I'm literally crying. And it's crazy that we haven't had this conversation in so long, but like, I remember watching, we're all in rehearsal and they're doing Ladies' Choice. Guys, I need you to understand how hard this girl was working. Nikki, are you a dancer?
Never. If you knew,
Thank
if
you.
you all knew the fear when I was told, when Adam Shankman came to my the rehearsal room, because I would go in a room with Zach Woody for at least 8 hours a day solo by ourselves.
Jamming.
Just going nonstop. And I remember Adam came to the door and he goes, "It's time to go do Lady's Choice." And I said, "With everyone?" He goes, "Yeah." I go,
I remember.
I wasn't ready. I was like, "I'm not ready. I'm not." He's like, "You're never going to be ready. Let's go." And I was like, "Oh, no, no, no." And we just went out there. I
And
was never
baby,
so nervous I think I was more nervous that day in that room with all of those trained dancers than at any of the open calls because I respected what they did so much. It was something that I couldn't do. So I was like, the fact that
lies.
I get to even dance with them was such an honor.
You're a liar. I'm going to tell you you're a liar. Okay? Because ladies, gentlemen, and everybody in between, I need you to understand that this girl came into that room and you could see that she was scared, but it was such an environment of love that I saw her standing there and she was waiting, and her little feet are going. And I saw the moment where she stopped being afraid and she lifted her head up and she just started, and we all are in the room because again, like we're trained dancers, so we judge, we're just judgmental people, period.
Yeah.
So we're all standing there watching her, and one by one I watched everybody go like this. what
Never.
what you did what you did that day was you made us all understand that we had a hit on our hands. You walked in there that day, and when I tell you that she danced her butt off, and Lady's Choice is full out. Like it is no joke. In all
It's
the
a
other
mother.
ones, you can sort of get away with like, okay, I'm just gonna bop. But Lady's Choice is that is your dance number. And baby, she came in there and did it. And when she was done, all of the detention kids, we were like, okay, we should go practice.
Oh my gosh. I remember finishing it and just like feeling just like waiting. You know, I was so nervous. And then when we filmed it, I'll never forget, we filmed on my birthday. We filmed Ladies' Choice.
Mm-hmm.
And the scene before it hit midnight on my birthday was the shot where I get hit in the face with the dodgeballs. And
Yep.
I remember our executive producer, Garrett Grant, they lined like a few people up to get the perfect shot. Everybody, my 18th birthday is just wailing rubber balls in my face. It was the best birthday of my life. I never want anything else.
Like
I'm
it's
saying.
just yeah, you definitely that day you made me a believer. And we had already been cordial and we'd already spoken and blah 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 blah. But like you that day, you made me and everybody in that room a believer. And more so than us, like my big first movie, but like it was the Ebonies and the Hollies and Jamal and watching everybody watch you and them being like, oh no, she got it. She got it.
I can't tell you what it means to like hear you say that because the dance for me was the trickiest part. And I
Yeah,
remember,
because you sing your face off and you act down, darling.
oh,
You are an actress.
oh, well, you know, it was interesting. Growing up, I just was like, I just sing, I just sing, I just sing. And then when I got to high school, I was like, I have to act, I have to try it. And then after Hairspray, I just love the craft of acting. I'm getting ready to dive into a new role soon. And it's like that excitement before you're getting ready to start a new role is almost
Yep.
like that, like feeling before senior year. Like you just can't wait to get there and just
Yep.
get it started. I mean, what's coming up for you? What's going on in
Uh,
Hollywood land?
well, right now, actually, I'm choreographing and dancing on tour for the Canada Drag Race Drive-In Tour. I know. We have our last two shows in Ottawa tomorrow and Thursday, actually. So I leave for Ottawa tomorrow. Yeah, and I've just been really keeping my head down. I have an urban burlesque dance company. Um, yeah, it's called Urban
Yes.
F. Yes,
Oh, you're
it's she's like my little baby, and she's good, and I love her to death, and I love the girls that are in the company right now. I had taken a break from it because the industry had gotten really not pleasant for me. Um, just in terms of people's commitment to what it was that I was doing. And people have this perception of me that, oh, everything must be great over here in Hollywood land. And the reality is, guys, it's not. It presents that way because instead of harping on what's wrong and the negatives, I choose to focus on the positives. But there are negatives, and people didn't see that. So people walked away from me and I took a step back, but I relaunched the company 2 years ago and we are up and running, and I can't wait to continue to do more great things with it and like start incorporating more live music and getting singers in and like really producing a casino worthy show, because that is the goal. The goal is to get a residency in a casino.
That's amazing. I mean, and just like we were talking about amazing producers before, and now being a part of such amazing productions that we've both been a part of. And so I take it you're producing the show. I started to get my hand in producing, and it's so fun. I never
It's
knew,
the
you
best.
know, I was always like, let me just stick to what I know. And then I was like, no, I realized that there weren't a lot of roles out there for plus size girls. There weren't, you know, they would come and they would go, but I was like, but there's no guarantee that I'm going to play them, but there is if I write it.
Come on.
So mama's been click clacking over here.
Well, let me know. I mean, you have the disposal of everybody, but like I'm down to do a table read. I'm down to hold a light. I am
Oh my
down
gosh, you're the
to,
sweetest.
and I mean it sincerely, because like the relationships and the bonds that we had built are out of this world, and I want to be able to support you in any way that I can, and be there for you, and not for any other reason other than the fact that you're my friend and you're dope, and I want whatever you're doing to be great, and if I can help make it great, so be it.
Well, I feel the same way, please. If you ever need anything, you just give me a call. Anything. Walk the dog. I got you.
You know, I was just about to say that. I was
And
like,
you know what?
I will come and be your dog sitter on set. I have no problems doing that.
Can we just talk for a second? You know, people sometimes don't like to talk about things that have passed, but I just have to bring up Rocky for a second. My sweet pug who was on the set of Hairspray.
Please.
It's going to be a year next month, the day before my birthday, that he passed, that he's gone. But I mean, he was on set with us, you guys. He was in my trailer. That's actually how I met Anthony. Anthony surprised me one day and walked Rocky. And now here we are 14 years later. Like, he's one of my best friends. So it was just so many magical experiences.
Some of my favorite memories, honestly, from being on set, other than obviously like the on camera stuff, but like there was a lot of waiting around that we did. Bless their hearts. They would just have us come and sit around and wait and pay us. I have no problems with that. For anybody else who's looking to book talent, please, when you know
You're here.
when you have a lead actor who takes 3 hours to get into hair and makeup, put us all at the same call time. That's totally fine. Yeah.
Exactly.
But as a result of that, like I was able to spend a lot of time with you and your mom in your trailer, and because of you and Rocky and that damn pig's ear, and remember do you remember I couldn't figure out what the hell a pig's ear was? I'm like, what is he eating?
You
I'm
love
like,
those things.
Listen, and I was not an animal person, but because of you, literally the only dog that I think I will ever own is a pug. No word of a lie.
They're the best. I mean, I've lost both my boys now, but I cannot wait. I know that there's a little pug out there, and I'm
Just
gonna
waiting for you.
just somewhere, I know at the right time. But
Like even like that's how you know, guys, that what we're saying is we're not making this up. Like the
no.
fact that I know her dog loved his pig's ear. Like
I mean,
I would just go to her trailer. We'd eat lunch. Me, you, your mom, Anthony. We'd all eat lunch in your trailer and just kick it.
it was the best. It was
Ah,
every day was a different experience, and it was just I'm not kidding, I would look at the call sheet and I would look up everybody's name. I'd be like, oh my god, I'm working with Hollywood and Jason and Anthony tomorrow, and I knew it was going to be a blast, and I knew we
oh,
were going
those
to laugh.
days.
It
Yeah,
was just,
we had a really really great time. It was such a unique experience.
and I feel like
And
I was so early on in our lives that no matter, I think it was perfect timing for all of us. We were at this time in our life where we were very impressionable. So we got to, when you at that age when you're that impressionable and you get to work with the creme de la creme and like the top of the heap, it kind of sets you up for the rest of your career. You're like, I now have a responsibility
to
and a
uphold,
duty to uphold, to pay respect back to the people that I've been given the honor of working with. That's how I feel. So it's like when I go through my career, I look at every single role like I just want this to be the best representation of myself so that I could pay
yes.
homage to not just myself, but everybody that I've worked with along the way.
What's amazing to this day, Nikki, what is amazing is Ebony Nichols has been the greatest godsend to my life in terms of keeping me inspired and keeping me going. This woman saw me. I did a piece and she came and saw my piece. Everybody came actually. Like this is what I mean. Like Jamal Sims came and watched my Milk and Honey piece with Nikki Blunsky. What are you saying? Like it was crazy. Like it was madness. But Ebony hired me to assist her for something with Damon.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
Oh
Limp
my word.
limp wristed.
Damon, I haven't heard his name in forever. I
Oh
miss
my
him.
goodness. Yeah, she hired me to do this thing with her, and she just took a liking to me. After Hairspray wrapped, she invited me to her birthday party in LA, and I was just like, okay. And then she was like, hey, I'm working on this thing for The Dream. I want you to assist me. No problem. Hey, I'm working on this thing for Snoop Dogg. I want you to assist me. Hey, Snoop Dogg wants you back. Hey, like it just for literally for 10 years I've worked with this woman
That's
as
amazing.
an assistant for 10 years. And she's always taking care of me. And I think about my relationship with Connect. And I think about my relationship with Whitney and her two beautiful little girls. Like I think about Twitch and I think about like it's mind-boggling to me that this show helped elevate all of us
Yeah.
in a way. And my thing has always been to make these people proud. Like having Jamal message me and be like, yo, Hollywood, that was dope. Excuse me? You mean Mr. You Make Me Wanna? Usher, you don't have to call? Just told me that my choreography is dope?
Yeah.
Shut the front door.
Well, that's how I feel when you just told me that compliment earlier, like about the dancing in the movie. But it's when I looked up to you guys, like the way you look up to Jamal. And I
Mm.
always tell everybody, yes, people always ask about the big names that I worked with, and they were incredible. But I always say I learned the most from the dancers because they were my age. They were going through life, but they were on this amazing set, and we were all learning together. I think that's what it was.